Be open and all fears disappear. We live on the surface. Deep down, we are all closed. Just look at your friendship. It is on the periphery, surface, and deep down, there is enmity. Your friendship may be just a facade to hide the enemy. If you are closed, you can create your own enemies. Because when you are open, only then is the friend revealed. When you are open totally to someone, the friendship has happened and it blossoms. It cannot happen in any other way. How can you love when you are closed? How can you love when you are closed? You live in your prison and I live in my prison, and whenever we meet, only the prison walls are striking one another. They touch. The prison walls touch each other and we are hiding behind the walls. We move in our capsules. The capsule touch each other. Bodies touch one another, but deep down we remain isolated. Even while making love, when bodies have entered into each other, you have not yet entered. Only bodies are meeting and you remain in your capsule of egocentric identities. You are just deceiving yourself that there is a communion, even in sex, which is the deepest relationship. Communion is not there. It cannot happen because you are closed. Love has become, in that case, an impossibility. And this is the reason you are afraid. So there is no need to ask this question, because when question is false, you cannot reach anywhere. If you have known what is openness, you cannot feel that something can be harmful to you. Nothing, if you are vulnerable, if you are open, nothing can harm you. That is why I say, even death is a blessing. Your approach has become different. Now, wherever you look with an open heart. And that open-heartedness changes the quality of everything in and around you. And you cannot feel that something is going to be harmful to you. You cannot ask how to defend. There is no need. The need arises because you are closed. But you can go on thinking of the questions this way or that way. Then what? Only God is. I have heard there was a curfew during the British time. And in curfew means in the night, if you do not answer and your identity is not revealed, you can be shot. So a sannyasi who has taken, a renunciate who has taken a vow not to speak, and he will speak only at the time of death. So he was going, the securities stopped him ask him for his identity to say the name or anything. He did not. So at the count of 3, he was shot. When he was shot, he spoke the final words, whatsoever it is at the time of death, Ram or whatsoever came. And then it was asked why you did not reveal the identity. He said, I had taken a vow not to speak. So such a person who has known, who is open even to his enemy, nothing can harm him. And this is one of the basic problems that we face. And then you ask, then what? You look at it. We all live in our narrow boundaries. Narrow boundaries created by egocentric identities that I am this, I am that. So then how can you be open? The boundaries, the egocentric identities is like you have put on many clothes and you want to enter into lovemaking with all your outfits on. It cannot happen until you strip yourself off completely. We know only this, the physical, the outer process of stripping off. But what is the stripping is needed is strip yourself of all your egocentric identities. If these are not dissolved, then nothing can happen. And I had told you normally every individual, it is not 2 people are involved in act of sex, instead 4 or several times many. You have a thinking being, you have a feeling being. You are feeling something and thinking is different. There is no coordination between thinking and feeling. And thoughts are not, there is not a single thought. Instead, there are so many thoughts, and so are the feelings. So it is, many people are involved in the act. So the blessedness of the union cannot happen. But in certain moments you become, this is the first stage is known as rectangle. And this creates the problem. In certain moments, and that too sometimes, the thinking and feeling in one unites, although it remains the same in the other. So relating becomes like a triangle. 2 corners at the end and one is peak. So you get the experience of something deeper. Then the final stage is circle, when all the egocentric identities have dissolved and there is nothing. The egocentric identities have dissolved. One is flowing into the other. There is no puncture, or the energy is not escaping from any point. It is continuously flowing into one another and both nourish and nurture one another. When your relationship attains to this state, that one energizes the other. That is, and for that matter, you do not need to enter into the act of sex either. Just by being in the presence of one another, that bliss begins to happen. This can happen with your spouse, with your master, with your friend or anyone. The energy, there is no argument. Both are open to one another. There is no restriction for and what kind of talks we should enter. There is total freedom to speak, to ask the way they want. That is where something totally different happens. The way of relating becomes like a cycle, a circle. And circle, although you are moving on the periphery, but both of you are connected to your inner center. So both are moving on one. So that kind of relationship comes only when you are totally open, vulnerable to one another. This kind of relating can happen between two spouses, between master and disciple, and any other way. So be open, be vulnerable. Existence will support you in every possible manner. Otherwise, if you are closed, the existence will remain inimical and you will remain afraid of your own shadow. Enough for now until we meet again tomorrow when we speak on another aspect. Until then, take care.